Hey guys, welcome back to another Halloween video. Today I want to do this creepy ass Annabelle. I have not seen any Annabelle movies because I am a giant baby and there's no way that I could actually sit through it. I'm very scared of dolls. Chucky almost ruined my life as a kid, and as an adult I know Annabelle would do the same. I wanted to create something a little different. I've seen her created a lot with body paint, face paint, and making your face look like hers. So I want to do something a little bit different in case you weren't really into that or you didn't have confidence in your painting skills, and you could just build it up in an actual mask style. Before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not yet. I am putting out a new Halloween costume makeup tutorial pretty much every other day throughout the month of October. I've had a couple of issues this month that are out of my control, but if you follow me on Twitter, which you should do, you would know all about those. You guys can also follow me on all my other social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter. Everything is RawBeautyKristi, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys like it. Now let's get into the tutorial. I started off with my face cast. If you don't have one of these, you could use a styrofoam head. You could just sculpt it straight onto your face, but I'm using a face cast because I find that it's the easiest for me to do something ahead of time and then make application on the day of much easier. Annabelle is really well known for her super creepy, childlike features and cheeks, so I wanted to go in and work on those first. I put a layer of liquid latex down. For this, I'm using a slip latex, which is a liquid latex that has clay slip added to it to thicken it up, and honestly, it makes it a lot easier to work with for me. So I put a layer of liquid latex down first, and then I am using cotton balls. You can unroll them to make these long snake-like shapes, or you can leave them in their natural form to create little high ball shapes like for the cheeks that I used here. She also has an indented mouth, so that's something that I didn't feel super confident doing in makeup, just painted onto my face, which is why I wanted to build up an actual little mask for her. It's almost as if her lips are inset from her face, which really creeps me the hell out, man. I'm using a popsicle stick, and I like using these because they are disposable and they also give you a really nice smooth finish. Fortunately, Annabelle is a creepy doll, so she doesn't have to be super smooth, but she is a doll and they do have smooth skin. I was not able to get this as smooth as I wanted because, let's face it, cotton and latex aren't the best medium for that. The best way to do it would be to sculpt it out of clay, cast it, and have an actual prosthetic. I'm not about that life right now. This is just for Halloween, and I am not into taking all that time, especially given that most of you wouldn't be able to recreate that, but most of you can get latex and cotton balls anywhere. I built up the cheeks in these little round ball-shaped cheeks high up close to the eyes. I worked on the bottom section of the face, which is the most important. She also does have some hollowed out eye area as well. When you finally get your shape down that you want to do, I take my finger and I smooth over the top of it. For some reason, my finger works a lot better to get a smoother finish on the top of the face versus using the popsicle stick or any other tool. The tool is really good for adding detail in, but my finger is the best for smoothing it down for the finishing step. This little tool that you see me using here is a palette knife. I got this from Amazon that has two different sides to it, and I find that I am able to get really nice detail work done with this. When you soak the cotton in latex, you're able to mold it and manipulate it really well. If you let it sit and dry for a moment before you start working on it, it can almost be easier to work with, in my opinion, because it starts to get a little bit of rigidity and then you can really push it into place. So I usually let it sit there for about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even longer. Right when it's at this stage here, you can see it's really wet and it just wants to push around and not really mold into the shape. But if you give it 10 to 15 minutes to sit there, it really starts to be much easier to work with. Once we have the face shape down, it is time for application. Now when you see that I put this up to my face, there are areas that need to be cut out, like the mouth and the eye holes where there was extra liquid latex that got stuck in those areas. So I cut out those areas and make them perfect, and then I take a pencil and draw around where that mask is going to be sitting on my face. I'm doing this so that I know where to apply the adhesive. I'm using Pros Aid adhesive, which is very sticky and my favorite. I prefer this far over spirit gum, but if you only have spirit gum or latex, those will work. So I'm applying this around the edges, and you know when Pros-Aid is ready because it turns clear. I apply it down into the center of my face first, and then I roll out the edges of the prosthetic, making sure that the edges are nice and stuck down. But if you work on the center of the face first, then you can make sure that your prosthetic is going to stay and not go anywhere, which we had no issues with. Then taking some liquid latex, I am running that along the edge of the prosthetic. Later on, I add some cotton to this step as well to blend it more in with my skin. If you aren't too worried about being able to see the edge of the mask on your face, you don't have to worry about that. But for me, you could definitely see a line of demarcation where the mask ended and my skin began, and I did not love that. This is my shade in the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir, and I'm just running that all over the mask and my own skin to blend the two together. I also run that down my neck a bit just so everything is nice and cohesive. I started off doing the details on the face first because I need to get an idea of what it's going to look like. Sometimes I am really unaware of what things are going to go and look like in the end, so I have to kind of start immediately painting it off the way that I hope that it's going to finish off looking, if that makes sense. So I put down the red color on my cheeks, and I really just pat it out. She does not have well blended blush on her cheeks, let me just tell you that. For this, I'm using the Makeup Forever Flash palette, which is a really nice versatile palette. They are cream paints, and they blend really well on top of prosthetics like this. You can layer them and go over the top of them, which is really, really nice. So for the areas of my face that I am shading, so around the eye sockets in the deep little sections of her face, I am mixing black and brown together, and then if it starts to get a little too dark, I then pat a little bit of white and foundation shades over the top. You can see the little lines she has going down, like smile lines essentially, are nice and deep, and I wanted to make sure to really accentuate those, even though they are sculpted into the face, so that you know that they are there. Annabelle's skin is not super clean, and I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit of a grungy element to it, so it gives a very mottled texture to the skin. We all know I love a good mottled texture. Going in with MAC Carnivorous. This is a liquid lipstick. Annabelle has really dark red lips. Again, I could have saved this step till later, but sometimes I don't know where things are going and I need to move around and get an idea of what it's going to look like. So I kind of have to jump around from place to place. I drew on her eyelashes right onto the face. I'm going to be wearing false eyelashes as well, but I wanted to draw these on here to give the I'm a doll appearance. And I'm using the Makeup Forever Flash Palette Black, but then I realized that didn't work that great. So then I switched over to the Aqua XL eyeliner from Makeup Forever and just drew the lines on. And this is much more long lasting and you can get a much more precise line with it. I do end up blending these in a little bit later so that they don't look super stark. And I prefer the way that that looks because if she's a grungy doll, her eyelashes wouldn't be perfect either. Filling in the dark spaces of my eyelids so that they obviously show that they are sunken back, and filling in the deep spaces of my lip lines as well. I used black and brown mixed together for a lot of the shading on this. It's really just up to you and depends on what the look you're going for, but that worked well for me. She has very straight eyebrows that are very close together. You don't have to worry too much, just do a slight curve over the top of your eyes and you should be golden. Then I continue filling in my eyes with the black and then bringing it around the edges of the eyes as well, like eyeliner. I wanted to really accentuate the smile lines and the lines down below in the chin area. Those are very classic Annabelle shaped, and I wanted to make sure that this looked as much like her as possible. It doesn't look exact, but it gets the point across and still looks creepy as hell. To highlight areas of the face that I want to pop forward, I am using white mixed in with a little bit of foundation shade. And then to deepen those other areas, I'm using a little bit of white mixed in with some brown and black just to give the realistic shadow appearance. Any area that you highlight with white is going to stick out and stand up, and then any area that you shade is going to sink back. I then put on a wig and some contact lenses and lashes, and that really brings the look together a lot. Contact lenses are from scleralenses.com, and I will have them linked down below. They are larger than the human iris, so it makes your eyes appear more doll-like. And the wig is from Rockstar Wigs, and it is actually the Anna wig, like Anna and Elsa, perfect for Annabelle too. I then took this little black hairspray can. If you hold the nozzle down just a tiny little bit, it shoots out this gentle spray of dots, and it gives a really cool worn appearance. And I love to finish off a makeup look with this because it really just adds a lot of texture. As you can see, I also took some white down into the waterline of my eyes and a little below to give the appearance of the whites of my eyes being larger, like a doll. And then I coated my entire face in lube because dolls have shiny skin and we want to look like that creepy little bitch, don't we? This dress I got from Amazon. It is a little white nightgown, and I just took a couple of little red pieces of fabric and added it so that it gave that Annabelle dress look. I added some red ribbons into my hair. Literally, that's it. Very, very simple. You can make this costume relatively inexpensive. You don't have to get this exact wig or these exact items to make it look like Annabelle. But I hope you guys like this video. This was fun to do. I've had this idea for a long time, and I'm pretty okay with the way it turned out. Relatively creepy. Look at this crazy bitch. Blech. Maybe I should watch the movie. Maybe I should just buck up and watch the movie, but I'm a little bit scared, okay? So tell me, is it scary? Because I'm a little scared of myself in this costume, no lie. Alright, I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, make sure you guys follow me on all my other social media stuff to stay up to date. If I have any issues with posting or if I have any updates that I want to give, Twitter and Snapchat are the place to be. So you want to make sure to follow there. Stay tuned because tomorrow is my actual favorite video that I'm posting throughout the entire month this month. I worked so hard on tomorrow's prosthetic, you guys. Oh my god, it is my favorite, and it's a collab with my best friend, and I hope you guys are excited. I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you at my next video.